I've jacked it up and put it on blocks on the derailing bars. The derailing bars are a very strong section of the chassis, so the wheels are off the ground. Unfortunately, I don't have a test track, but I should be able to see everything. You should be able to see everything working. So once you're in the position to run it, this is your normal sequence. You plug in your Anderson plug, click up the emergency kill switch, and as you enter the tender, you've got a key switch that switches it on. You see the battery comes on. Make sure that this emergency stop is off and you're actually ready to use the system. You've got 2 emergency stops on this loco. So this is a driver emergency stop. If you hit this emergency stop, it puts the loco instantly into a braking sequence. So this is the preferred emergency stop should, say, a child runs in front of you, or an animal's in the way, or you feel a derailment, or you hear something going on and there's a commotion. Your driver hits that button straight into a brake. You can't have missed this one here. This is the main kill switch. So this main kill switch is, should you have any problems at all, anybody needs to stop the loco, you just punch that switch down, bang. Nice and easy to get at, great big red switch, you can't miss it. You have to beware though, because when you hit that red switch, it doesn't put it into a braking sequence, it instantly locks the wheels. It's an emergency stop. So if you do it and you've got a whole train full of people behind you, you're going to know about it. So not to be used lightly. But anyway, let's see if we can get this working. So your main kill switch is on, your emergency's on. Nice simple controls. This is a dead man's handle. So this button always has to be depressed for the locomotive to work. So your driver will press that button and move it forward. And as you move it forward, you'll hear the engine, the motor brake, clicking off. It's a big clunk. Click. And then you can see you've got gears moving there, which means the wheels should be turning. If you were to let go of the emergency button, it goes into a braking sequence. If you let go of the whole thing, it slows down and brakes. Reverse is the same. Depress the button, pull it backwards, and it will start to move backwards. Essentially, that's all there is to the forward and reverse controls. If you're in forward speed and you back off, it will coast, so you can roll along. If you want to pull it into a braking sequence, you simply pull it into reverse and it will start to brake. And in an emergency stop. So we can try that now. I'm going to put the camera down. I need 2 hands for this, unfortunately. So we're in forward speed. You have a problem, hit the button, brake goes on. To reset it, simply twist it. You hear the click, everything's alive again, and you can carry on like normal. So the battery condition meter is nice and simple. You can see it has a green dot at the top. That dot starts to move down as you use the batteries, but you'll be charging it every night, so chances are it will stay right at the very top. And probably won't budge very much. The key switches, you've got 2 keys. You cannot operate the locomotive without it, so as a safety feature you take the key out if you're leaving it anywhere. There's no way anybody can use it. There's a couple more features on this loco, which are the accessories. We're going to those next. It's got plenty of space on the tender for your driver. All your main controls on the left to be used left-handed. You can swap it to the right-hand side if you want to. You're just going to have to re-drill the holes in the tender, but we can talk about that. And on the right hand side you've got your mechanical brake, which is really a hand brake for the tender. And on the locomotive itself you've only got 3 switches. Pretty self-explanatory: sound, smoke, and then you've got the electric brake on the back, and I'll talk to you about that in a sec. For the moment we'll go through the sound and smoke. So the smoke is the easiest. Once it's filled with water, throw this waterproof switch and there's your smoke. The smoke machine is mounted inside the smoke box, and actually if it runs out of water you won't do any damage to it, it'll just stop working. So if you've got the switch on for the smoke and there's no smoke coming out, all you have to do is stop the loco, put your 1 litre of water in down through the chimney, and it should just start back up again. My guess is you don't want the smoke on all the time. It's not, you're not going to see it very much when you're driving. You probably just want to have the driver switch it on when he comes into the station. Switch your sound on. Inside the cab you see this box. On the box you've got a volume switch here, which switches it off, up and down. The idea of having a volume switch is, although the sound sounds pretty good once you're in the station and everyone likes it, I'd wonder whether you're going to scare the animals or not. You've got the option of turning it down, or you can simply just switch it off on the switch, switch it back on again as you want to. It'll start chuffing as the loco goes. So just to show you, it's switched on. As it starts to move forward, you can turn that up if you want to. You can have it much louder. Goes up and down. The chuff speed goes up and down as you speed up and down. And then on the sound remote control, number 1 is your whistle, and you have a guard's whistle as well. There's a few other sounds, but I don't imagine you're going to use any of those, but I'll give you all the information and you guys can have a play around with that. The last switch on the control board is mounted on the rear. It's called the motor brake switch. It's important. You have to think of it like a handbrake. So on this large motor that runs the loco, you have a brake on the motor itself. That's the thing that you hear clicking in and out as you move the controller forward. This enables you to override that brake. So if you wanted to roll the loco along, what you need to do is put this switch into the off position. In the off position, it means that the motor brake is switched off, therefore you can roll the model. In the normal workings, you need to have this switch in the on position, because otherwise you haven't got the motor brake on the motor. So you're only to use this when you're manhandling the loco into position. For normal working practice, it needs to be switched on. It doesn't affect the emergency braking system, so if it was switched off by accident and one of your guys, the driver, took it out and started using the model, he would notice it wasn't clicking when he was going into forward gear. But if you were to smash the emergency stops, that would still put you into an emergency stop situation. But it is imperative you leave the motor brake in the on position. Let's go forward and backwards.